Minoan architecture, the construction of large palaces on the island of Crete contrasted the simple and smaller Cycladic settlements. After the destruction of the Cretan palaces, the land was left barren and ready for the Mycenaean culture to rebuild upon the dust. The palace at Knossos, with its 3 stories and central court, was open and lavish in comparison with the citadel of Tiryns with its massive walls, which was said to have been created by the mythical Cyclops creatures.
The Minoans were on the Mediterranean island of Crete, just south of Greece, and the Mycenaeans were on the mainland. The Minoans' palaces were built around a large open courtyard. Their palaces were never surrounded by defensive walls because they did not fear invasion. They depended on the sea for protection. Unlike the Minoans, the Mycenaeans didn't have the sea to protect them. They had to build very thick walls from large stones to protect them from invaders. This is also why they preferred indoor halls.
The ornamental strategies in the Minoan and Mycenaean architecture vary in many ways. The Minoan architecture has religious art advertising executive life. They're full of afterlife tombs for royalty and palaces. Many cultures believe that afterlife is important because the person that has descended away holds a higher value than the human living. On the other hand, the Mycenaean architecture is based on their society. This culture wants their buildings to represent their societies, and their architecture was specifically built for the king as a symbol of power.
In Minoan architecture, the buildings were made of stones and bricks and were covered with smooth cement. There were many materials used when building the walls, but the most popular material for decoration was plaster, which covered the floors and walls. There was a lot of emphasis on columns and beams of buildings, and they cared mainly about making the architecture comfortable and welcoming. The most impressive architecture were the palaces. In Mycenaean architecture, their designs were similar to the buildings in Mesopotamia, which included lots hybrid animals and animals mirrored. Their architecture used some of the Minoan construction techniques like post and beam. Their specialty was creating new kinds of buildings, and they created a structure called megaron, which is a big room.
Minoans celebrated nature. Marine life was especially important and found often on their pottery. In the marine-style octopus jar, the tentacles wrap around the jar, emphasizing its spherical shape in the beautiful harmony between the vessel's decoration and the vessel's shape. Mycenaean art seems to hold lions in high regard, and they are often the subject matter in their art. 2 limestone lions carved in high relief stand atop of an outer gate of the stronghold of Mycenae.